Daniel Foster paused in the hospital corridor, his blue scrub still damp from mopping the third-floor waiting area. At 28, he was in his final year of nursing school, working the overnight janitorial shift to pay his tuition. His body ached from 12-hour shifts that started at midnight, followed by morning classes, then clinical rotations in the afternoon. But tonight, exhaustion took a back seat to nervousness. Across the hallway, sitting in the break room, was Lily Hartwell. She wore matching blue scrubs, her blonde hair pulled back in a neat bun, her face soft and kind even after what he knew had been a long shift. She worked as a nurse on the cardiac unit, and over the past 6 months, Daniel had noticed her in ways he tried not to show. She always remembered people's names. She stayed late to comfort scared patients. She treated the janitorial staff with the same respect she showed the doctors, and when she smiled, which was often, it lit up the sterile hospital hallways. Daniel had been working up the courage for 3 weeks now. The hospital's annual charity gala was coming up, a formal dance that raised money for patient care. Staff were encouraged to attend, though Daniel knew the ticket price of $200 was far beyond his budget. But he had been saving, skipping meals, taking extra shifts, putting aside $5 here and $10 there. He finally had enough for one ticket. Just one. Taking a deep breath, Daniel set down his mop bucket and walked toward the break room. His heart hammered against his ribs. Lily looked up from the medical journal she was reading, and that warm smile appeared. "Daniel, hi," she said. "How's your shift going?" "It's going well," he managed, his voice steadier than he felt. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" "Of course." Lily set down her journal, giving him her complete attention in a way that made him both grateful and more nervous. Daniel's hands were shaking slightly, so he clasped them behind his back. "I know this might seem strange, and I completely understand if you say no, but the charity gala is next weekend, and I was wondering if you would consider going with me as my date." Lily's expression shifted to something Daniel couldn't quite read. Surprise. Certainly, but something else beneath it. "Daniel," she said softly, "that's very sweet of you to ask, but I need to be honest with you about something." Daniel's heart sank. Here it came, the gentle rejection. He had prepared himself for this, told himself it was okay, that at least he had tried. "The gala tickets are $200 each," Lily continued carefully, "and I know what the hospital pays overnight janitorial staff. I know you're putting yourself through nursing school. I don't want you to spend money you need on something like this." Daniel felt heat rise to his cheeks. It wasn't a no because she didn't like him. It was a no because she was trying to protect him from his own generosity. "I've been saving," he said quietly. "I know it's expensive, but I wanted to ask you anyway. I think you're someone worth saving for." Lily's eyes softened with something that looked like sadness. "Daniel, sit down for a moment." He sat across from her, confused by her tone. "I need to tell you something I don't usually share at work," Lily began. "My last name is Hartwell, as in Hartwell Medical Group. My father owns this hospital and 12 others across the state." Daniel felt the air leave his lungs. Hartwell Medical Group was one of the largest healthcare corporations in the region. He had seen the name on every building, every policy document. "I work here because I love nursing," Lily continued. "I went to nursing school against my father's wishes. He wanted me to get an MBA and join the corporate side of the business. But I wanted to care for patients, to do the actual work that matters. So I did." She paused, her hands folded on the small table between them. "I keep my background quiet because I want people to see me for who I am, not for my father's money. And I need you to understand something, Daniel. If you're asking me to this gala because you think I'm just another nurse, someone on your same level, then I'm honored. But if you knew who I was, would you still have asked?" Daniel looked at her, really looked at her. The young woman who had stayed late last week to hold the hand of an elderly patient who had no family. The nurse who had patiently taught him proper hand-washing technique when he first started, never making him feel stupid for not knowing. The person who brought homemade cookies to share the night shift because she knew they were always forgotten. Yes, he said simply, I would still ask, because who your father is doesn't change who you are. And who you are is someone I'd be proud to spend an evening with, whether at a fancy gala or getting coffee from the vending machine. Lily's eyes filled with tears. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know how many people have asked me out once they learned about my family, hoping for connections or opportunities? I didn't know about your family, Daniel said, and I still don't care about that. I care about the woman who remembers that Mrs. Chun in room 304 likes her coffee with 2 sugars. I care about the nurse who thanked me by name for cleaning up a difficult spill last month when most people don't even see the janitorial staff. Lily wiped at her eyes quickly. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Daniel said, his voice barely above a whisper. Let me take you to the gala. Let me have one evening where I get to dance with someone extraordinary. On one condition, Lily said, and now she was smiling through tears. Let me buy the tickets, both of them, because, Daniel, you've already given me something much more valuable than $200. You've given me the gift of being seen for who I really am. Daniel started to protest, but Lily held up her hand. My father taught me something, even though we disagree about many things, she said. He taught me that true wealth isn't measured in what you have, but in what you're willing to give. You were willing to give up meals, to work extra hours, to sacrifice your comfort for one evening with someone you care about. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. She reached across the table and took his hand. So yes, Daniel Foster, I will go to the gala with you. And I'm buying the tickets because I want to, because sometimes letting someone give to you is its own kind of generosity. The night of the gala, Daniel stood in a borrowed suit, watching Lily descend the stairs in a simple blue dress that matched her eyes. She had insisted on picking him up. And when he saw her, he forgot every nervous thought he'd been carrying all week. They danced beneath crystal chandeliers. 2 people from completely different worlds who had found common ground in a hospital hallway. Lily's father was there, a distinguished man who watched his daughter with a mixture of confusion and pride. At the end of the evening, Daniel walked Lily to her car, his borrowed suit jacket draped over her shoulders against the cool night air. Thank you, Lily said softly, for seeing past everything else, for asking the girl in scrubs instead of the CEO's daughter. Thank you, Daniel replied, for saying yes to the guy with the mop bucket instead of waiting for someone more impressive to come along. Lily laughed, that same bright sound that had made him fall for her in the first place. Daniel, you are impressive. You're working 3 jobs to chase your